All right, either I'm already used to the humidity or it's just not that hot today. Okay, I've got a big list of things to do Saturday, starting with my dehumidifier. So I'm gonna go out to the van. It's about a 40-minute drive. Go back out there. I was so tired yesterday, it was so hot. So yeah, let me go get out there. And yeah, there's still all these roof shingles that fell off the roof during Hurricane Beryl. And there's still damage to the building, so I don't know. Anyway, okay, there's my car. There's a roof shingle under it. And then right here is where the roof shingle had hit my car back in 2021 when it fell off. And I thought a dead body hit my car. Anyway, okay, so let me go out to the van. I've got to go there and then I've got to hightail it to Trader Joe's on a Saturday, unfortunately, out in Katy. Yeah, I got a bit of a late start this morning. I got up early and then I edited my purgatory video. And I was going to upload it, but I have to double check because sometimes, for some reason, this SD card that I have, micro SD, is not rendering the GoPro footage properly, and it's kind of cutting out in places. So I exported it as 4K and then I re-exported it as 1080p. So hopefully if I can press it down a little bit, it's not going to kind of be all jarring. I think it's a Premiere Pro issue. I should go back to Final Cut Pro. I've been using Adobe Creative Suite for like, I don't know, since college, since the 90s. I have Photoshop and all that stuff since I'm a journalist. But yeah, I should probably go back to the Final Cut Pro instead. Premiere Pro is fine. It's easy. My videos aren't very elaborate. You know, it's just splicing together footage and then tightening it up. But anyway, I'm going to take the toll road, which is only like 40 minutes. It's easy. West Park Drive. Yeah, the toll road is I don't know, it's like $4 on the toll, and I have an easy tag, so it just automatically drains my bank account. Anyway, it's fine being in the car in Houston because it's little and it gets cooler. In the van, it just never got cool yesterday. All that 6 hours, 7 hour driving, and I'm just feeling sticky the whole time. I closed the max fan, keep the airflow in, and I'm like, I had the fan next to me going, my little 12-volt fan on the back of the seat, and I was like, it's never ever cooling down. What the hell? Anyway, so I've got to go out and I've got to get my laundry. I need to get all the food out of the van. I need to take the water out of the van. I'm just going to load up the car. Good morning. It's 10 a.m. I'm tired. So I was going to get up and run this morning at the gym at my apartment. And I got up at 5. I was going to say 6. I got up at 5, then got up at 6, then got up at 7. And then turn my AC off because I get free electricity from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. So usually the apartment is freezing cold in the morning, so I can turn the AC off for a couple hours and it stays cold. I'm on the shady side of the street, like all these trees. And then I was like, yeah. And then instead I got up, made some breakfast, and sorry, bumpy bit here. Made some breakfast and then worked on 2 videos. And then my internet went out. So let's see what the weather is. We have a blue sky today. We have a hazy sky. It is hot. It is 87 degrees right now, and it's only going to get hotter. So I have an errand day. It's a good day though. First I have to go to the post office, then I have to go to the bank, and then I have to not get hit by this construction guy. It's like, why are you doing a U-turn from the far right lane, dude? That's not even a thing. Anyway, and then I go to my chiropractor. So I go to physical therapy. Used to go twice a week, then once a week, then once a month. And now I just go, like, well, I haven't been in like 2 months, 3 months because I've been traveling. So I missed the one that was on the 8th of July because not only was I going to fly home that day, changed my flight to that Monday, Hurricane Beryl hit, and I also was flying and we had like, you know, no power. So I would have missed that one even if I was in town that day and flying out the next day. All right, I'm done with the bank, the chiropractor, and the post office. But I gotta go back to the post office because I had to get a mailbox for my nonprofit. What's wrong with my hair? I had to get a mailbox for my nonprofit, and the lock broke. So I have a tendency to break things often, like the minute that I like try to use them. So the lady came out with like, she's like, let me get the toolkit. So she's like, this happens all the time. So she went out and got little like screws and things to try to fix it and stuff. And yeah, so then she called me up about 5 minutes before I was about to go into the chiropractor and told me to come back to go ahead and get a new mailbox assigned. So that's fine. Yeah, I just need to get one just so that I can have all my nonprofit stuff. Sorry, I'm overexposed here. Get all my nonprofit stuff sent to that address, so it'll just be easier. But anyway, yeah, she like the fact that she had like the little toolkit, but I think I had the wonky mailbox anyway because the door was kind of like looked like someone had pried it open. So I'm gonna go back right now and then we'll go home and I'm gonna finish packing and sorting. I have about 7 or 8 people coming by to pick up stuff today, so that's good. It's a Monday, and then tomorrow through Friday I'm volunteering at Harriet's school for lunch, so also probably going to volunteer on picture day. I've got to meet the teachers. I was traveling the day of orientation. They didn't tell us what orientation was until like a couple days before, and I'd already booked the ticket. I was already in Salt Lake City, so I'm going to go kind of catch up on mommy duties and yeah, just kind of get some other stuff done. Just cranking out videos left and right. I've got to do the Via Ferrata video, which will take me a while because that's GoPro footage, pretty much the entire video. And I have trouble with the exporting where it kind of gets a bit like sketchy, like it starts fuzzing out and stuff. And then I've got the Telluride video to do. This also at least 1 or 2 pieces of GoPro footage. It just takes a while to export. And of course my Xfinity like internet went out this morning, so that's why I got the 2 videos done. I haven't uploaded them yet, so I'll do that when I'm home. Yeah, just kind of a productive day. It's 95 degrees. Stupid hot. I don't like it, but I'm gonna get some ice so I can make smoothies and chai frappuccinos at home. But yeah, so just kind of an easy Monday. It's the first Monday I've been home since June. I've always been flying or driving on this day, so yeah, this is the first day I've been home. So it's interesting to like be home on a Monday. I'm like, what do I do with all this time? Good morning. It is Tuesday, I believe. I don't know what day it is. I think it's like someday toward the end of August. What the hell? Come on, phone. Oh my god, hang on. My windshield wipers are on. My stupid phone holder doesn't even hold my phone. I'm using Harriet's phone, which is little, but for some reason it's not holding. All right, you're gonna have to be in that weird angle. Anyway, hi. Before I was rudely interrupted. It is 9:20 and I'm heading up to her school. I'm lunch lady this week. That'll be fun. And it's always fun. The kids are like, oh, it's Harriet's mommy. Blah. You know, they love me because I'm always like chaperoning and always doing everything, running around with the kids. And I'm like kind of like the low expectation. I'm like, you know what, if the kids want to play, they can play. They want to talk, they can talk, as long as they're not too loud and not disrespecting anybody in the process. But yeah, so I've done like chaperoned all the like school trips and the sports day and all that stuff. So it's really fun. So I'll be there 4 days this week. And it's really funny because like I was toilet monitor one time last school year. And so I was in the junior high school section, which now she's in junior high school, which just blows my mind. Cannot believe that. It's like, where's my little baby? My little squish. I mean, she was in my belly at one point. Like, why is she suddenly like a pre-adult? So anyway, but yeah, so like when I was toilet monitor, you could tell like how shady the junior high school kids were, because I was like, okay, there's no way. I have the incontinence of a gnat, but there's no way that kid needs to go to the toilet 19 times in an hour, you know, and not actually go to the toilet. And then by the end of the time that I was there for like 4 hours as toilet monitor, full-way monitor, and I was just sitting at a desk. But like the boys' bathroom was just trash. Like every kid that went in the boys' bathroom thought that they were like Michael Jordan, and they were like, I'm going to do a free throw with my toilet paper and with my paper towel, and it was just like Mount Everest of tissue. And I was like, kids, your mom's not here. You know, it was fine. But like what was funny too is that they all had like, you know, like hall passes, right? So when I was in high school in California, I went to 8th grade in high school in Southern California, so I'm Californian. Like culturally I'm Californian, and so I'm not British culturally at all. But anyway, so yes, it was really funny because they had like a different hall pass at her school, and there were things like, one was a life jacket, one was like a wooden spoon, one was you know, like a bunch of stuff that they just have to say that they came out of the classroom, they're allowed to like go to the toilet. Well, when I was in high school in California, we had little like I was in marching band. We had little marching band trophies, and I just kept one in my backpack. But I didn't know that I was actually on the medical list. Like they had this medical list of all the students that had medical issues, and so one time I was cleaning out a desk. I was a teaching assistant for marching band, so I was going through and cleaning out everything, and I found like this medical document. I didn't read it or anything, but I did look up me, because I was like, oh, maybe I'm in there. But I was in there for like, you know, needing to drink a lot of water and needing to use toilet. And so that whole time that I thought I was being really cool by having my own hall pass, you know, to you know, get out of class, go to the bathroom. So I have a thing in my brain where I have to drink a lot of water. I don't have a hormone. I don't have anti-diuretic hormone, like enough of it in my brain. So I have to like constantly drink. Sorry, I'm at a weird angle here. I have to constantly drink a lot of water, and I can easily get dehydrated. And I don't drink, and I don't, you know, drink any bad drinks or anything. Like I don't drink soda, any of that stuff, because I also only have one functioning kidney because I had something wrong 20 years ago and had an operation anyway. But yeah, so I have this, it's diabetes insipidus, and it's not like sugar diabetes. It has to do with like your water regulation. But I apparently had it my whole life. I was diagnosed when I was 21. But anyway, so it was funny because like I didn't know in high school and college like why I was always so thirsty. So I was always carrying a bottle of water. I was always known as the girl with the bottle of water, and would always, you know, just get up and go to the bathroom when I needed to, because I don't have, you know, it's like bodybuilders that do diuretics to lose the water weight. I have a natural version of that. Like I don't have to take a diuretic pill, because I just don't, and this diuretic pill suppresses the anti-diuretic hormone, makes you lose your water weight. Well, I already do that. So I don't have to, like, I'll never be a bodybuilder, but I also don't ever have to do like anything like that. I don't take pills, nothing. But I have a natural version of it, and it's manageable. I mean, I took a synthetic DDAVP, little like, you know, 1 drop up my nose once a day. But then I could only drink like 1 or 2 bottles of water, like small bottles of water, like 20 ounces, 40 ounces of water a day. And I was so active that I was just getting thirsty. But then I was also, if I drank too much water, I'd get like bloated. It's very weird. Anyway, it's all manageable now. I'm fine now. I don't take any of that DDAVP. I just drink as much water as possible, and I know where every single bathroom is. And there's also an app called RunPee, where it will tell you where in movies you can get up and go to use the restroom in a movie theater. So I have that app on my phone. So it's very, very useful, very helpful. It is hot. It is freaking 90 degrees at 9 a.m. in the morning. Houston, stop it. Oh God, I've been home like 3 days. Actually, I've been home since Saturday, so now it's Tuesday. 4 days, and I'm already like fed up with the heat. But anyway, so that said, yeah, so I'm just gonna go up and be toilet monitor. It'll be super fun. But yeah, so these kids though, once they get to be like, you know, mini adults, they get a little shady, but they mean well. They're not like trying to be mean or anything, but it's like, they're smart kids. They know what they're doing. And I was like, there's no way. Even I wouldn't be using the toilet 17 times in an hour, but okay, go back to class. Then there was some kids that were like, you know, like teachers that will always like, there's that one kid that will always kicked out of class. The one kid that's always going to be the C student. You know, it's kind of like you know, if you're a teacher, I was a teacher for 4 years and a substitute teacher for 2 years. And it's like, you know, I didn't single kids out. I was pretty, well, the 4 years was in Japan, and then substitute teacher, you're just kind of babysitting the class because the teacher is out for the day. But yeah, it's like I have teacher friends that are like, no matter what, even if you don't want to single someone out, you've always got that one kid in the class that's always going to be the C student, always going to be kicked out, always going to be the one that doesn't do their homework. And chances are that kid's probably going to end up running some tech startup and being a multi-billionaire, because, you know, they were so like emotionally beat down like academically, because they just, you know, academics weren't their forte, but entrepreneurship and, you know, street smarts and all that stuff was. And then they ended up being the next, like, you know, social media multi-millionaire mogul. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know, I always wonder, I'm like, what will these kids end up being when they're older? They don't really have, I mean, they have some sports, but they don't really have a big, like, you know, varsity sports program, or they don't have star athletes. It's a school of science and technology, so they've got, you know, kids from countries, I think it's like 25 countries represented or something, some of a humongous amount of countries, and I love it. I love the diversity. I love Cultural Day because all the countries have their little booths. I have my little British booth, but it's great. But then, but yeah, so being like the chaperone and stuff. The kids are great. There was one kid at the museum last year when we went to the Natural History Museum last school year, a couple months ago, and or I think it was last fall, I think it was, or we went again. We did a couple school trips this year and last year as well. And this one kid, we're in the gem section, and I'm not really into gems. I'm not really into rocks like as a decorative thing. I love geology, like that's one of my favorite subjects. I took rock science in college, and I love rocks because I'm hiking and mountain biking all day and climbing mountains. So I love sediment and limestone and shale. But the gems, like the decorative gems, like this kid knew everything. He knew all of the Latin names. He knew like where they came from, where they mined from, what their hardness factor was. And I'm just like, what class was this? Because my kid doesn't know that, so there's some really, really smart kids, and it's very endearing to it kind of just really humbles you when you've got like a 9-year-old that kind of schools you and like tells you how the world is. I was like, I don't remember that, I'm old. So anyway, but it's fun. So yeah, I'm gonna go right now and just go and be a mommy for the week. I'm mommy every day, but I get to be school mama. And I need to do something about my hair. I'm just gonna grow. I think I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut all this off. I'm gonna go short again. It's not gonna look great because I've got a big old round face, but I think I'm gonna go cut this all off and just like start over. And I've probably got another 6 months of this to grow out, and then I can figure out what I'm gonna do about it. Oh, hello. Insurance scam. Again, people that just slam their brakes on the freeway and then they come out and they're already holding their insurance documents. I'm like, you are a scammer, dude. Anyway, I'm in this like bottleneck right here. So I've got 22 minutes. I'm going to stop off at Office Depot. I'm going to print some things out for Harriet. Her pictures, she's redecorating her bedroom. So she wants me to get her some pictures. I'm going to print those out on cardstock. And then, got her lunch, made her lunch for her. A nice healthy lunch. And it's going to be good. So I'll be there. I can show up anytime, but I usually like to do all the lunch hours. So like I'll work from kindergarten through, I used to just leave after 5th grade because but now she's in 6th grade. So I'll stay through junior high school, which is probably about noon 30. And then I've got to do some more stuff up in, she goes to school about 30 minutes from me. So she's kind of like in between like her dad's house and my house. So I have some more things to do up in that area for the rest of the day. So do not go in front of me, dude. Sorry, that person's like driving in 2 lanes. What are you doing? You're on your phone. I have my phone on a holder. I'm looking straight and you're looking at me. I'm not looking at you. So, but yeah, this person was like, what are they doing? Driving with their knees? Doing their makeup? This is why I don't commute. Like, this is why I'm glad I don't go to an office. And I don't think I'll ever go to an office unless I like can walk to an office or I live next door to my office. But yeah, going like commuting every day, I don't know. The pandemic was like, we don't need to go to work. We can work from home. And now everybody has to come in, I think just for the egos of the bosses for the most part, of like, we just need to keep tabs. I'm like, you know what? I was far more productive working from home than I would be sitting in an office where by the time I get to work, I've got 20 minutes to make my tea and then, meet with everybody and then do my work for 3 hours and an hour for lunch and then maybe 2.5 hours more of work. Whereas when I'm home, I'm working like 8 hours straight in my house. But, also my brain works at like 9 o'clock at night when I'm building websites. Like sometimes I just want to sit on my computer in the evening when it's nice and quiet, there's no school traffic, everyone's winding down, and put on some music and then just code a website from like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then I'm done. Much easier than working from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I can tell you that. Anyway, but yeah, that guy in the Charger or Mustang, whatever he was driving. I'm in the Woodlands, which is like where I used to live. I had to print out some pictures for Harriet, Smile for Me. I don't know, Dr. Habit and Kamal. Anyway, but there's a rent-a-cop on a horse. And these poor horses are out here in 100-degree heat. It is 100 degrees right now. And there's been a lot of like animal cruelty complaints about that because it's really not cool. Anyway, okay, I gotta run a few more errands up here, up in the suburbs. They have everything you need up here, and then I'll head back home. I gotta sell more stuff. But yeah, those poor horses walking around the asphalt parking lot. It's not cool. I'm so against that. I love horses, but not when they're out in this heat. I am in a town called Conroe, which is part of Houston now. It's just north of Houston. And my parents lived up here in the 70s, like in the early 70s, and they had a ranch and everything, like with horses and stuff. What's wrong with my hair? Anyway, everything's wrong with my hair. So I'm coming up here. I got another errand to run. I used to work up here for a company that had a bunch of different businesses, and then the pandemic hit. So yeah, Conroe is kind of like, I don't know, my mom was like, when I first moved here 10 years ago, oh, I remember what Houston was like in the 70s. I'm like, Conroe is now part of Houston. It's attached to the Woodlands. It's attached to, you know, the north part of Houston. It's just one big, massive Houston. Anyway, but it has everything up here and lots of master plan communities and I guess good schools. But it is very, very contrived because it's all, you know, like I said, it's all planned. Like it's all these tract homes and, you know, whatever, country clubs and things, lots of golfing and stuff, but it is 102 degrees. So I'm not going outside whatsoever, but I got to go up to one more place up here and then turn around and head home. It's probably about an hour from home. But yeah, it's crazy like how big Houston is. I mean, the greater Houston area is like the fourth largest city in the country. And I think it's after like LA, New York, Chicago, possibly. I have to look. But yeah, we're pretty big and you drive 100 miles and you're still in Houston. So I'm just gonna go down here. Like I said, they've got everything. They're all the same supermarkets, all the same, you know, stores and car washes and basically everything and anything you need is up here. And gas is a little bit more expensive. It's $3.19 up here. It's only like $2.95 where I live. And I live in like the fancy neighborhood and it's still cheaper. But anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of like, most of Texas is private land. I mean, it's all like, we have only like one smidgen of BLM, which is over by Amarillo, and I've never stayed there. There's a nice little lake, like a reservoir, and you can park there, but I've never parked there. I don't need to because I can park at every rest area in Texas for 24 hours, no problem. So I've never needed to like find BLM. It's not like when you're in Utah or like, you know, Colorado. But surprisingly, Colorado is actually really easy to find boondocking. I was surprised that, except for like Denver and Boulder area, I was outside a hospital. But the Denver area, not so much. But everywhere else, I mean, there's rest areas and no restrictions. And yeah, really, really surprised. Montana, tons of BLM, every trailhead, no problem. But the only places is like Durango proper and, you know, some other places like, you know, more, like Aspen, for example, Aspen and Durango, forget it. If you want to park anywhere, you can't. So I have to do a U-turn. For some reason, I went the wrong way. Let me see if I can turn around here. Oh, sorry. I've got a tight turning circle. Love my car for that reason. Love it for the fact that I can just do like a tiny turning circle. But anyway, but they've got lots of other stuff here. Where am I going? It is sending me 1 minute down the road. I overshot it for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, but they've got like bottling plants. They've got factories up here. But yeah, tons and tons of homes. And what they do is they totally raise the area so that there's like 0 trees. And it's surrounded by trees, but each neighborhood has like no trees, no shade. And everyone's gardens are kind of exposed, but all the houses all look the same, like each little subdivision. But it's good. I mean, there's lots of like kids stuff to do. There's gymnastic gyms up here. There's you know, like indoor play centers. And so Harry and I spent a long time actually up here when she was little, when we first moved here when she was about a year old. And we did all the mommy stuff. We did all the play centers, all the play dates, birthday parties like crazy, to the point where, because she's a November baby, by the time her second birthday came around, I'm like, no more Disney, no more Frozen, nothing. I am absolutely going to do a fireman party. So for her second birthday, it was all firemen. For the moms, you know. And one of the moms was like, is the stripper showing up? I'm like, no, it's a 2-year-old's birthday party, but we'll do that for somebody's like birthday party later. Anyway, okay, so I'm at my next place. I've got to take care of this here. Hopefully I can get in. Can I get in? Anyway, all right, I guess I will All right, let me figure this out. Okay, bye. Well, that took over an hour, and I'm finally back at my neighborhood Kroger, so I'm gonna get my groceries. I'd push through a lot of things like orange juice and bananas on a almost daily basis, pretty much, so I need to get some of that. And then something for dinner tonight. I don't know what I'm gonna have. All right, it's a Tuesday. That bread looks good. Rustic Italian oval. Okay, oh sorry. Okay. Running people over. Okay, let me go figure out some cheese. All right, they have a minimal selection of cheese. Actually, a pretty good selection. Just get a little one. I just want something. I need something sharp. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna pass on cheese for now. I gotta use the restroom and then go get bananas and come back. I'm stopping off at the Igloo factory store. I'm pretty sure that socks and kids' lunch boxes are in the same category of getting lost pretty easily. So anyway, you can get a cooler in here for basically next to nothing. So I'm gonna get Harriet a lunch bag because I don't know where her lunch bag is. And I think, oh, that's cool. There's Care Bears. Yeah, they've got lots of like cool little lunch boxes and things. So I'm just gonna get her a small one. That's where I got my Beatles lunchbox, which was awesome. So you can get ones. I used to have ones that were different characters and stuff. I just get her one of these. I think this is fine. A red one? Okay. Or she can get like a little green one might be more helpful. Or a small one. Yeah, just do this one. That's fine. Doesn't have to be fancy. But yeah, it's really cool. You can get like Mickey Mouse ones, and they're all like super marked down. So I think my Beatles one was only, it was retro. My Beatles one was only $14 actually, and they don't have a license anymore, so they can't make it. This is only $8, which is a great deal. These are $7. I mean, if you go to Target, these are like $30, $40. So let me see what the retro, I think she'd like the retro one better because she's kind of into like the 90s right now. So yeah, Igloo Stay Cool. Okay. So these are $15, $5 for the pink one. Don't know, the cooler bag. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I think this one would be good. Well, actually, this one would be good. This is $15. That'll do. Okay. All right. Mission accomplished. They had some other ones. They don't really have a lot of options today, but I think this one's a backpack. Yeah, that one's a backpack. So I think this one's good. Stay cool. Okay. I don't know, the Cowboys. Maybe just the $8 one might be fine. I just need one for today. Yeah, I don't have a lot of food for her today, so I'll just do the $8 one. All right, it's mommy duties day 2 of lunch lady. So I had to go to Office Depot, print out some of Harriet's pictures. I'm gonna go in and cut them nicely on the guillotine paper cutter, and then head about an hour to her school. I'm all the way down in like another part of town. But yeah, they've got Target, they've got JCPenney, I don't know who shops there anymore, Joann Fabrics, which they moved down here, which is a really nice store. Yeah, these are all the stores I used when I was building my van. And then Office Depot, because I have a paper jam in my printer. So let me go back in. Okay, either I'm menopausal or this summer is just getting hotter and hotter. It's getting hot in here. You know the rest of the words. Anyway, okay, so yeah, I'm now, well, only 47 minutes. So I'm heading up to her school. I'll be there about 9:30. They have a short day today, so kindergarten lunch starts, I think, at like 9:50, which is really early to eat lunch. It's like, okay, get up 4-year-old and go eat lunch at 9. So, but you know, little kids, they're growing. I feel really bad though, because lunch is at like 1 o'clock for my daughter now. And I know that when I was in school, I already wanted lunch at like 10:30. I could not stand, like, and you have that one class right before lunch, and then you get that one kid who has to ask a freaking question right like at 11:55, and then of course it's the question that the teacher has the longest answer in the world, and I'm like, we're all gonna die of starvation. This is horrible. Anyway, it's a beautiful day though, but it is 8:43 and it is 98 degrees outside. So like I said, either I'm menopausal or the world is just getting hotter and hotter. So whatever you believe or don't believe, or whatever conspiracy theories you have, I'll tell you something, Houston is freaking hot. It is hot and I don't like it. I like cold. That's why I'm an ice skater. That's why I started ice skating 10 years ago when I moved here, was because I couldn't stand the heat. And I don't want to be on this road either. I can get around. Oh, I should just stay in this traffic. And then they extended this freeway. It's got like 8 lanes, and they've added like 4 more lanes on each side, which they're building to like help. And it doesn't help, it just makes it a bigger parking lot. I'm like, if I wanted to be on a freeway like this, I'd live in Los Angeles again. So anyway, but it's fine, whatever, par for the course. This is why I'm glad I only do this not very often. I don't do this every day, having to drive anywhere, because, you know, except if I'm in the van, I'm driving all over the place, which is funny. When I'm in my car at home, it's like I don't drive. I get like 3 weeks to the gallon and it's great. But when I'm in the van, I'll easily drive, you know, a 10-hour drive, no problem, and be perfectly content. But in, you know, in town, when I'm having to just do chores, I think what it is I can drive 10 hours. I can go like 600 miles, 10 hours, no problem. But if you put me in, like, I have to go 3 miles and it takes me an hour and a half, that's the frustrating part. Like, that's where I'm like, I really just don't want to get up this morning. Like, I'm just going to stay in the house. I do have a busy day. It is a short day today, so lunch is early. I'm going to run up to the school, do lunch duty, drop Harriet's pictures off that I just printed out, and then hightail it back. But the other thing too is I saw this meme that said, you know, if you get a mortgage from a bank, you're indentured to the bank for like 30 years, but if you rob a bank, you're out in 10. So follow me for financial advice. So don't worry, we're not robbing a bank today. I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff anyway. My hair, because of Madison Reed, ruined my hair breaks off, so all my DNA is spewed all over this city. So everybody will be like, oh, we have a blondish hair. We can find out who she is. And of course, you know, I've got like Ancestry and what is it, 23andMe. So like the government's got my info. Plus I was military, so they probably, you know, implanted a chip in me somewhere. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not into all those conspiracy theories. Some of them are so ridiculous when they come from people that have really no comprehension of what they're talking about. When somebody comes at me and thinks they can talk to me about the military, I'm like, really? Really? Tell me more. Person that works in oil and gas and has never left your cubicle, like, tell me what you think you know. So yeah, thankfully I've purged my friends list of people like that. Like, it's taken decades to kind of get my friends to a place where they're all just really awesome. Some people I was friends with just because we, you know, out of circumstance, we went to school together, or went to college, or, you know, we worked together, and it's like, oh, let's be friends on Facebook. And then you realize, you're like, I really don't need this person knowing everything, and I really don't have a connection to them, and I never check their page. Why are they on my friends list? So I pared it down to, like, you know, just all kind of the special important people, because, you know, it's like, it's just I don't know, it's a good exercise to do every couple years. It's just to kind of evaluate, like, who would be there if you dump out your problems, and who would comfort in, or who would be like so far out on, and it's called a kvetching ring. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. It's this thing that I do every couple months or so. I just kind of plot everybody and just be like, okay, like, how much energy am I investing into these people that are on the most outer ring, and how much are they diluting their comfort toward me? Like, is it worth worrying about that? Is it worth, like, freaking out or panicking or worrying, or, you know, putting my energy toward things that are on the outer ring? And it's not just people, it's also like chores stuff, responsibilities. I plot everything, and every couple of months I do this exercise, and then it's helped, because I'm like, okay, well, for the next 2 months I'll be traveling in Colorado and Montana, so let me just replot the chart so that I'm not, like, you know, investing all my time and energy in stuff going on in Houston when I'm not in Houston, right? And so it helps you manage your time, helps you manage people, helps you clear your head. And, you know, all the millennials going about, like, it's okay not to be okay, mental health is trendy, but really, like, as a Gen Xer, I just need to manage my time, and I will give everybody the time that I can give them. However, I can't give them all the time. So I used to be that person that would drop everything for everybody, and the next thing I know, I'm, you know, SOL, you know, up shit creek without a paddle, because I've neglected myself. And it's like, I can't do that. It's not as a mom, not as a parent, you know, with a kid and responsibility. So, but I also make sure I don't have more responsibility than I care to manage. So, that's why I don't, I could have easily years ago, even a couple years ago, probably bought a bunch of properties like Airbnb stuff, or bought a bunch of land back then. But it's like I really just wanted to focus on finishing the national parks and dealing with some other stuff, family stuff, and just focusing on just having a free and clear post-pandemic life, and then figuring out. So I'm only 45, so I'll be 46 this year. Plenty of time to worry about designing my future. But yeah, so I don't know, I have so many friends that just all they do is just worry all the time. I gotta paint the kitchen, I've got to my adult children won't ever leave the house, they're just constantly worrying. And I tell them, I'm like, draw these little circles and just start plotting people. Because what I learned is when I've been through trauma and you go to the supermarket and they're like, hi, how's your day going? What I was doing, when the trauma happened, a day or two after the really bad stuff happened to me, which I won't go into, maybe one day I'll tell you guys, but I just started dumping out to the cashier at HEB or at Kroger at the supermarket, and she's just standing there going I guess your day's not going well, ma'am. And I would just pour everything out. I'm like, oh my God, because I was injured, I was visibly upset, I was visibly injured, I was, there was clearly something bad had happened to me. And, I know that the cashier was just saying, how's your day going? Because that's what they do. I didn't realize that they really didn't care about my problem. And so then when I went through my trauma therapy, we kind of did all these drawing exercises. We did a couple different charts and things. And the one with the circles is the one that is most useful, because there's a lot of people that come into the inner circle on a daily, weekly basis, and they stay there for months. And sometimes some of them have stayed there my entire life. Now, Jeff is in the hospital and his brain is kind of gone with his brain injury. So he was always my inner circle for 32 years. And 30 of the 32 years that we've known each other. And unfortunately, that is he's no longer on any circle because he just doesn't have the brain capacity. His traumatic brain injury was so bad. So it's really sad that one person that was always on the inner circle is no longer there. He's just kind of in his own little set of circles. I don't know if he'll ever get to be back on the inner circle, because there's no two-way street, because you talk to somebody that has brain injury and they're kind of out of it. He can converse, he can talk, but the humor, the expression, the emotion, it's not there. He's kind of one-dimensional, and we don't know how long it'll take for his brain to get back to normal, or as close to normal as possible. And it's really sad, because I got a lot of really good jokes and he used to think they were funny. But it's kind of I tell a joke and he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, he just doesn't know. So it's hard. I'm not equipped to understand brain injuries. I'm not equipped to understand the psychology behind near-death experiences. That's something I'm still learning. It's a process. But yeah, anyway, so moving on. So the kvetching ring, it's helpful whenever you're going through cancer, or you're having even if it's just something like you lost your job, you can just replot everybody, and then it helps you decide on who you can dump out to, right? Let's dump out comfort in, and who you can expect to have the compassion, and the compassion and the support. But the girl at HEB, in the supermarket, obviously, because she's so far out, she's 20-30 rings out from the center, that when I dumped out to her, it was very, very diluted. And then I left the supermarket in tears, thinking that nobody cared. And that's a horrible defeatist feeling. And that's why you shouldn't just dump out to someone, even coworkers are probably 15 rings out. Don't go to work and start dumping on your coworkers, because they're going to dilute the sympathy. And by the time the sympathy gets to you, you're just going to be well, they don't give a shit, because they don't. And so you have to realize that you've got to find the right people to be able to talk to, and it's hard to figure out who those people are. Even your partner might not even be on the inner circle. You might have a great, fun, happy relationship, but when something bad happens, they may just emotionally abandon you. And that's hard too, because you're just well, crap. I thought you cared about me. It's well, I do care about you when life is easy. There's a lot of guys that do that. They want the life is easy girl. and they don't want to, like, you know, you break your leg, they don't want to have to take you to the hospital. They just want the life is easy girl. So you just have to, I don't know, you just have to evaluate. And it's okay sometimes to have nobody on your rings for a while. You know, if you just want to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna just take a break from everybody. I'm gonna be busy, and it's not because I'm too busy for them, it's because I need the time for myself. And there's a few times where I've just been like, you know what, I just need to like delete the world for a minute and just deal with my own stuff. And I think the traveling makes it easy, because when I'm traveling, I'm focusing on the nonprofit, I'm focusing on the work, and, you know, getting out into nature. Healing is in nature and all that stuff. And I don't really spend time dwelling on everything going on in the news, everything going on social media. I don't go doom scrolling through my Facebook. You know, I just kind of take a break, and it's very, very helpful to just kind of focus. And I see that when I'm making my videos. You know, I'm very focused on, what's this person doing? I'm very focused. That person's not focused on anything. I'm very focused on just the content and what I'm doing in the moment. And that's why I don't really talk about any of this other stuff, because, you know, I've always been very good at compartmentalizing everything in my life. So I'm very good at making verticals. It's a marketing thing, marketing verticals. Who's my target audience? Who's my customer base? Like, and in my life, I kind of do it the same way. I'm like, okay, I can have a very thick line between like my girlfriend life and my mommy life. I can have a very thick line between my work and my pleasure. I can have a very thick line between any of my medical issues and my physical ability. Like, I'm able to kind of separate the two. And again, that's not easy to do either. But I think that's helpful, is to try not to keep blending everything together. Like, when you go to work, if you can, focus on work for the time that you're at work, and figure out who's in your inner circle at work, and keep it simple like that. What was it? The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. And then I was like, the douchey account guy. It's like, I don't want to boil the ocean, and let's not put a glass ceiling on the blue sky. But anyway, I worked years in marketing. There was a douchey account guy would always be like making up stuff. But so just kind of like, you know, it's easy just to, it's not like, and the thing is, by compartmentalizing, you're not belittling your own issues. You're not brushing anything under the rug at all. What you are doing is you are assigning an amount of time during your day for each thing that you need to do. What is this person waving out their window? I have no idea. I'm in traffic right now, and I don't know what half these people are doing. So compartmentalizing basically assigns time to each thing that you need to handle. And what happens is, when you start blending all these things together, when you don't have big thick lines between each thing, when you start blending things together, you start losing time. You start getting overwhelmed. You're like, well, I have 17 things to do today and I've got nothing done. I said, that's because you didn't assign, you assigned 17 things, you assigned 1 minute to 17 different things, and there's just not enough hours in the day. You know, as cliche as that sounds, it's true. But if you said, okay, well, today I'm going to do my 8 hours of work, and then when I'm home, I'm going to focus on my family for, you know, until my kids are in bed. And then I'm going to focus for an hour or two afterwards on some personal stuff. And then I'm going to sleep. And that's the thing too. I'm not going to interrupt my sleep with my work, right? Or I'm not going to, obviously you interrupt your sleep for your kids. If your kids get up in the middle of the night, you get up too. But I'm not going to interrupt my work with my sleep, right? I'm not going to sleep at work. I'm not, you know, all of this stuff. So you have to compartmentalize. But it's tricky and it's hard, because as somebody that wants to just do it all, and I do it all myself, very rarely do I need help from anybody, and it's very hard for me to ask for help. You know, I just, it is hard, but I've been doing this kind of like the verticals and the convention ring I've been doing for about 15 years, and the verticals I've been doing since college. And it's, you know, it's not easy all the time, but it's like I was able to get through everything. And I mean, my laundry is still in the dryer. I mean, it's like my laundry's been in the dryer for 4 days. I'll probably never take it out of the dryer. I'll just use the dryer as a closet, and then I'll just put everything back in the washing machine and and use that as a hamper. But yeah, I mean, and I've still got to pack. So right now it's been difficult to figure out those big thick lines between responsibility. I've got to go to school this morning, be the lunch monitor, and then I have to hightail it home, and I've got to pack my house. But I also have to finish more videos. I've got to work on the nonprofit. I've got some other projects that I'm working on. But those other things are on the back burner. So the project, the videos, and my nonprofit are going to have to wait till the weekend. I need to get my house packed up this week. So again, that's compartmentalizing. If someone calls and they want to go to dinner, sorry, you're going to have to wait till Sunday because I am busy. I've got to get this done. If I start blending in, if I let someone take me to dinner tonight, then I'm going to be frustrated or stressed or all this stuff that I never usually am, ever. I'm going to be, worried, and I'm going to be behind on getting the priority done, which is that I need to get my apartment packed because I need to get everything into storage. So now that I've been home, I'm getting calls left and right to hang out. Let's go out and do this. Let's go, chill out at the beach for a bit. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait 3 weeks because I've got 3 weeks of a lot of intense work to do, and I've still got the family stuff to take care of. I've got a lot of stuff to put together and file and all of that. So adulting. Anyway, okay, well, thank you for joining me on this commute. I'm not even out of my neighborhood yet. I'm driving for 20 minutes and I'm still not even off the 610, but I'm getting on the 45, and then I've got about 23 minutes till I get to the school, and it'll be fun. It was fun yesterday. Things I've learned from elementary and junior high school lunch. Number one, kindergartners can trash a lunchroom in 48 seconds. Number two, everything is sticky. Number three, kids will hug you when they're sticky. I had such fruit juice loop, fruit leather, gum, whatever it was. Everything they eat is sticky. Fourth grade, up to fourth grade, everybody loves elementary school. In fifth grade, everyone is hitting puberty, and they're just in their hoodies, head in a book. But my daughter's in sixth grade now, and she's got a new little friend who's awesome. And some of her other friends went to the other school. They have a second school where some of the junior high school kids have moved over. They don't have an eighth grade anymore, which is interesting. I guess that's at the other school as well. So they only go up to seventh grade. But yeah, so I also learned that they have 300 styrofoam trays that they throw away on a daily basis. School lunch is hit or miss. I mean, it's kind of okay. Yesterday it was hot dogs, and then halfway through they changed to nachos with taco meat, which looked kind of good. It smelled all right, but I'm a school lunch, a packed lunch girl. I make my own lunch. I always have. But in England we had really good school lunch, on real glass and ceramic plates, and here they have styrofoam. But yeah, and it's interesting. And the other thing too is every kid enjoys having one shoelace untied. The mama bear in me was okay, all of you need to tie your shoelace, you're gonna break your face open. But they were no, I like it untied. So I guess whatever TikToker decided that one shoelace was the trend, you're gonna end up hurting these kids because these kids are literally gonna trip over their face at some point trying to put their plastic styrofoam tray away and wash their sticky hands. Anyway, okay, well, I will talk to you guys later, and thanks for coming on this journey of respect and self-awareness, and don't pour your energy out to the girl at the supermarket because she's not going to understand what she needs to do to comfort you. But anyway, okay, I will chat with you guys later.